That is how long it took for him to die. Most hangings are quick. The trapdoor opens, the body drops, the neck snaps, and it is over in seconds. But on October 16, 1946, inside a cold gymnasium in Nuremberg, Germany, death did not come quickly for Alfred Jodl. He was one of Hitler's most trusted generals. He helped plan invasions that killed millions. He signed orders that murdered prisoners of war. But now he was just a man at the end of a rope, choking, shaking, and slowly dying. The witnesses said his body convulsed for 18 long minutes before his heart finally stopped beating. Was it an accident, or did the hangman make him suffer on purpose? Welcome back to Timeless World, where we dig deep into the darkest moments of history and bring you the truth that the history books do not always tell. Before we dive into the final moments of this Nazi war criminal, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. We have more shocking stories coming your way, and you do not want to miss a single one. Do it now, and let's get into the story. To understand why Alfred Jodl died the way he did, you need to understand the man he was. Alfred Jodl was not a wild, screaming Nazi like Joseph Goebbels. He was not a fat, arrogant bully like Hermann Göring. No, Alfred Jodl was something far more dangerous. He was quiet, he was smart, he was disciplined, and he was deadly. He was born on May 10, 1890, in a town called Würzburg in Germany, but his childhood was not easy. Alfred's father was a military officer, and his mother was a farmer's daughter. Back then, marrying a farmer's daughter was considered shameful for a military man, so Alfred's father refused to marry his mother for almost 10 years. Alfred was born out of wedlock, which meant he carried shame from the day he was born. That anger, that need to prove himself, shaped him into the cold, hard man he would become. In 1910, Alfred joined the Bavarian army. When World War I started in 1914, he was ready. He fought bravely and was wounded in the leg. He earned the Iron Cross for his courage. But when Germany lost the war in 1918, Alfred felt betrayed. The Treaty of Versailles forced Germany to give up land, pay huge fines, and shrink its military to only 100,000 men. For soldiers like Alfred, this was not just a defeat, it was humiliation. He stayed in the small German army and quietly waited. He was angry, and anger like that does not go away. It grows. In the 1920s and 1930s, Alfred Jodl became part of a secret plan. Even though the Treaty of Versailles banned Germany from having a strong military, the Germans ignored the rules. They started rebuilding their army in secret. Alfred helped organize fake glider clubs that were actually training pilots for the Air Force. He helped set up sports clubs that were really training infantry soldiers. He was breaking international law, and he was good at it. When Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party took power in 1933, Alfred did not see a madman. He saw a leader who would make Germany powerful again. Alfred believed in Hitler completely. By 1939, Alfred Jodl had climbed to the very top. He became the chief of the operations staff of the German Armed Forces High Command. That meant he was one of the most powerful military men in Nazi Germany. He was Hitler's right-hand man when it came to planning wars. World War II began on September 1, 1939, when Germany invaded Poland. Alfred Jodl was one of the main planners of that invasion. Poland fell in just over a month. Then came Denmark and Norway in April 1940. Alfred planned those invasions too. Denmark surrendered in less than 6 hours. Norway took 2 months, but it also fell. In June 1940, France surrendered. The German war machine was unstoppable, and Alfred Jodl was one of the architects behind it all. But Alfred was not just planning battles, he was also planning mass murder. In 1941, Germany prepared to invade the Soviet Union. This was called Operation Barbarossa, and it was the largest invasion in human history. Alfred Jodl was deeply involved in the planning, but he also signed something terrible, the Commissar Order. This order said that Soviet political officers, called commissars, were not to be treated as prisoners of war. Instead, German soldiers were ordered to shoot them on sight. No trial, no mercy, just execution. Alfred Jodl signed that order on June 6, 1941. Thousands of men were murdered because of that piece of paper. He also signed the Commando Order in 1942. This order said that any Allied Special Forces soldiers, even if they surrendered or wore proper uniforms, were to be killed immediately without trial. Alfred did not pull the trigger himself, but he did not have to. His signature was enough to kill thousands of people. As the war went on, things started to go badly for Germany. The Soviets pushed back, the Allies invaded from the West, Germany was losing. Alfred Jodl argued with Hitler
times. Once, he even yelled at the Führer about a failed offensive in Russia. But Alfred always came back. He always stayed loyal. In 1944, there was a famous assassination attempt on Hitler. A bomb exploded in Hitler's headquarters, the Wolf's Lair. Alfred Jodl was there, and he was slightly injured. But the bomb did not kill Hitler, and Alfred continued to serve him. Later that same year, Alfred gave another cruel order. In northern Norway, he ordered Operation Northern Lights. This operation forced over 40,000 Norwegian civilians to leave their homes in the middle of winter. Then, the German army burned their houses to the ground. Thousands of people were left homeless in freezing temperatures. Many died, and Alfred Jodl gave that order from the safety of his office. By the spring of 1945, it was clear that Germany had lost. Hitler committed suicide on April 30th, 1945. The new German leader, Admiral Karl Dönitz, sent Alfred Jodl to negotiate with the Allies. On May 7th, 1945, Alfred Jodl signed the surrender of all German forces in a ceremony in Reims, France. His face was cold and emotionless. He had helped start a war that killed over 60 million people. Now he was signing the paper that ended it. A few days later, British troops arrested him. Alfred thought he would be treated as a prisoner of war, like an honorable soldier. He was wrong. Alfred Jodl was sent to Nuremberg to stand trial before an international military tribunal. This was not a normal court. This was history putting the Nazis on trial for their crimes. 21 top Nazi leaders sat in the courtroom. Alfred Jodl was one of them. The charges against him included conspiracy to commit crimes against peace, planning and waging aggressive war crimes, crimes against humanity. Alfred Jodl pleaded not guilty. He claimed he was just a soldier following orders. He said he knew nothing about the Holocaust. He said he knew nothing about the concentration camps where 6 million Jews were murdered. But the prosecutors had evidence. They showed the judges the papers Alfred had signed. They showed the commissar order with his signature. They showed the commando order. They proved that Alfred was not just a soldier. He was a war criminal. On October 1st, 1946, the verdict came. Alfred Jodl was found guilty on all 4 counts. The sentence was death by hanging. Alfred was horrified. In the German military tradition, hanging was the death of a criminal, not a soldier. He asked the judges to allow him to be shot by a firing squad instead. That would have been an honorable death. The judges said no. Alfred Jodl was not an honorable soldier. He was a murderer. He would die on the gallows. The execution was set for the night of October 16, 1946. The location was a gymnasium inside Nuremberg prison. 3 wooden gallows stood waiting in the middle of the room. The hangman was an American soldier named Master Sergeant John C. Woods. Woods was a controversial figure. He claimed to have experience as a hangman before the war, but many people believe he was lying. He was loud, rough, and many say he hated the Nazis with a passion. There is a dark theory that John Woods deliberately botched the executions to make the Nazis suffer. When you hang someone correctly, you calculate the length of the rope so that when the person falls, their neck breaks instantly and they die without pain. But the trapdoor in Nuremberg was small, and the ropes were short, too short. Alfred Jodl was the 9th man to be hanged that night. He walked up the 13 steps to the gallows. He wore his military uniform, but all the medals and badges had been removed. His hands were tied behind his back. He stood on the trapdoor. A black hood was placed over his head, and then he spoke his final words. "I salute you, my eternal Germany." The noose was placed around his neck. John C. Woods pulled the lever. Alfred Jodl dropped through the trapdoor, but his neck did not break. The fall was not long enough. The rope tightened around his throat, and Alfred began to strangle. The witnesses in the room watched in horror. Alfred's body started shaking violently at the end of the rope. He was still alive. He was choking. He was fighting for air that would not come. Minutes passed. 5 minutes. 10 minutes. 15 minutes. Alfred Jodl's heart continued to beat. His body continued to convulse. He was slowly suffocating to death. It took 18 full minutes for his heart to finally stop. When the doctor finally declared him dead, there was no funeral, there was no grave. The Allies did not want Alfred Jodl or any of the other executed Nazis to have a place where their followers could come and remember them. So the bodies were taken to a crematorium in Munich. They were burned. And then their ashes were collected and dumped into the Isar River. The river washed them away. Alfred Jodl simply disappeared. Alfred Jodl believed he was serving his country. He believed he was an honorable
soldier just doing his duty. But history does not care about excuses. History judges you by what you did.
And what Alfred Jodl did was help unleash the most destructive war in human history. He signed orders that murdered thousands of innocent people. He planned invasions that destroyed entire nations. In the end, he died a slow, painful, and shameful death. Some say it was justice. Some say it was revenge. But one thing is certain: the world did not shed a single tear for Alfred Jodl. What do you think? Was the botched execution an accident, or was it deliberate? Was it justice, or was it cruelty? Let us know in the comments below. If you want to see more shocking, untold stories from history, you need to support this channel. Click the donation link in the description, or join our Patreon to help us keep making these videos. Every bit of support helps us bring you more content like this. Thank you so much for watching Timeless World. I will see you in the next video. Stay curious, stay informed, and never forget history.